You have to bow, then perform the kata. But if you do vice versa, that will amount to a foul. Kihon, um, we practice the basic techniques, which are the stances, the punches, strikes, blocks, and the kicks. So in Kihon is whereby you'll find a beginner in karate, being taught how to punch, how to kick, how to strike, and how to perform different movements in karate. Then in kata, said already, it's a formal prearranged sequence of movements and fighting patterns that simulate combat against multiple imaginary attackers. So in kata, we have individual kata performance, and we also have team kata performance. And in team kata performance, it's supposed to have between 3 to 4 athletes, whereby 3 athletes will compete at the same time. And at the medal bracket, the the athletes of the team have to perform a bunkai, and the bunkai is the application part of the kata, which shows how every stance and every movement that was used in the kata. Then the third component is the kumite, which we refer it to as sparring. It allows the athletes to apply the techniques they learned against real opponents, not like kata, which is applied to imaginary opponents. We can go to the next slide, please. So, in we have different styles in karate. One of the styles, commonly used and recognized styles in karate are Shotokan, Gojuro, Shitoryu, and Wadoryu. Let's proceed to the next slide, please. So kata competition, um, not only in kata, in karate in general, the competition of the athletes have to perform on a tatami or the mats. The mats have to be WKF approved, that is World Karate Federation approved, with the size of 8 meters measured from outside, with an additional 2 meters measured from the sides. For karate competition, we have different organization of kata competition, whereby in some competitions we will have 5 judges, and in other competitions we will have 7 judges. As we can see on this slide, this competition has a maximum of 7 judges, and the judges, they have to sit at the official table. So the judges will be named from number one to judge number 7. So judge number 1 will be seated close or next to the software technician. And on the further end, we can see athletes standing there. So in order to identify athletes in karate, one of the athletes has to tie a red belt, and the other athlete has to tie a blue belt. So in karate, we call red belt aka, or red, we call red aka, and blue we refer as ao. So they will be standing at the further end of the tatami there to wait for the formal salutation between the judges and the athletes. After the formal salutation, the judges will take up their positions at the table, sitting from Judge 1 to Judge 7. Then Aka, the athlete with the red belt, will step into the tatami, bow, announce the kata, perform the kata. After performing the kata, the athlete will have to bow again, then step out of the competition area at the safety area and wait for the results. After that, then the other athletes will have to step in. The athlete with the blue belt will have to step in, perform the kata, same sequence as the athlete with red. Then after that, the judge will have to declare the winner, or it will be shown on the screen who has won. Next slide, please. So let's get to the other slide, the evaluation part of it. So in kata, we have we are being guided by World Karate Federation. So we have rules that we have to abide with when analyzing the kata. So in the rule book, we have a list containing the katas which are supposed to be performed by the athletes. And the number of the katas in the WKF list are 102 katas, which the athletes are supposed to pick from. So whenever an athlete picks a kata, they have to write on the kata list. They have a form which they're supposed to fill their name, their country, and the name of the kata they have chosen, together with the number of the kata as per the list. Then they have to submit the list to the. We'll have a runner who will relay it to the software technician. So athletes, especially the seniors, no, from the juniors, they have cadets, juniors, under 21, seniors, they have to perform different katas, up to 5 for each round until medal matches. No more than 5 different katas are required. But these katas can be, that athlete can repeat a kata if they have already performed the 5, but not twice in a row. And for the competitors who are 14 years, under 14 years of age, they have to not to perform more than 4 katas as required. And the same procedure will be used as it was used for the seniors. And the performance of the kata will be evaluated from the bow when an athlete starts the kata until the bow when an athlete finishes the kata, except for medal matches, in team medal matches, where the performance as well as the timekeeping starts at the bow in the beginning of the kata and ends when the performers bow after the completion of the bunkai. Let's go to the next slide, please. So in kata, we are being guided by, we have points, a point system, which guides us in giving points or awarding points to the athletes. So each performance is given a scale of 5.0 to 10.0 in an increment of 0.1, whereby in case an athlete gets 5 to 5.9, it means the kata was insufficient. And in case an athlete gets in case the kata was acceptable, but it had discrepancies, then the athlete will be given between 6 to 6.9. And uh, an athlete who has performed a good kata, that is the international standard, that athlete will be given between 7 to 7.9. And 8 to 8.9 will be awarded for a very good kata. Then 9 to 9.0 will be awarded for an excellent kata. And 10 for that matter, it means that the kata was perfect. And in case the kata had maybe an athlete had issues and it warrants disqualification, then that athlete will be given 0, meaning they have been disqualified. At the end of it, the winner is pointed out by the judges based on the relative marks on the particular judge that particular judge gave for each of the two athletes or teams, whereby the winner is determined by the majority of the votes by the judges. We can see it in the next slide. So, on this slide, we have two female contestants who have performed their kata. As we can see, we have 7 judges who have already given their points. No, before that, we have these two athletes. As we can see, there is the first athlete, who is Aka, has performed a kata called Anan. And according to the official kata list, Anan is number 001. So that athlete, even on the screen, you have the software technician has to indicate the name of the kata, the number of the kata, and the points as awarded by the judges. So as we can see here, judge number 1 has awarded Aka 7.6 and Ao 8.0. So here, the majority of the votes will count by the judges. So as we can see, Ao has a majority of wins. Four of the judges have voted for Ao, which means Ao is the winner. So Ao has 3 against Aka, who has Ao has 4 against Aka, who has 3. So, as we had said, the winner is determined by the majority of the votes by the judges. So, here, Ao wins. Then, let's go to the next slide. So, in kata, we have different criteria for evaluation. The criteria are there to guide the judges, to guide the referees in awarding the points to the athletes. And we have to follow the 10 criteria for awarding the points. One of the criteria is we have to check the stances of the athletes, the techniques used, the transitional movements, timing and synchronization, correct gripping, focus, conformance, strength, speed, and balance. And in kata, we say bunkai has to be given equal importance to or as the kata. So when evaluating the kata, that is the same way you have to evaluate the bunkai. So the difference of the evaluation criteria between the kata and bunkai is that in bunkai, we evaluate timing and distance. And also, instead of correct breathing, we will focus on control, that is control of the techniques to the other opponents. Next slide, please. So in a kata, there are various fouls. The number of fouls are around 11. And in each and every foul, it warrants for deduction of points. So we have different formats based on different competitions, because there are some competitions whereby we use the flag system. For the flag system, where the judges will be seated at the corners of the tatamis, and we'll have the center referee, we'll have the head judge also seated with the flag. Both judges will be equipped with a red and blue flag. Then after the completion of the kata, the referee will blow the whistle for the judges to vote for the winner. Then the next athlete will come in. Another format is by use of the electronic signals. The electronic signals, as we had seen on slide 9, they will key in the points on those gadgets. Then the points will be transferred to the software technician. Then later they will be displayed on the screen. So we can use flags to declare the winner. Then also we can use the electronic signals. And at times we can try to also improvise, because like in Kenya we don't have electronic signals. We can use papers. We just write the points based on the performance of the athlete. Then the points will be directed to the software technician. So one of the fouls is announcing the kata before instead of after the bow. That is a foul, because in kumi kata you have to bow. Then minor loss of balance, incorrect kiai. Kiai is that sound that the athletes make when on the tatami. Then belt coming loose to the extent that it is coming off the hips during the performance. That is another foul. Then performing a movement in an incorrect or incomplete manner. That is a foul. A synchronized movement, that is delivering a technique before the body transition is completed, that will amount to a foul. And in team kata, failing, if the team members fail to do a movement in unison, then they will be deducted marks. Then there's the use of audible cues. That is a common thing on athletes. So these audible cues, they can come from any other person, including team members, to guide tempo of performance. The use of audible cues mostly comes from other team members to help this team to do movements in unison. So it's not allowed. It will amount to a foul. Athletes also, they use theatrics such as stamping the feet, slapping the chest, slapping the chest, the arms, or the karate gi. That is and also inappropriate acceleration, that is considered as a foul. Then there's that time wasting whereby they do prolonged marching or excessive bowing while going to perform the kata. That will amount to a disqualification. An athlete is given only 35 seconds from the time their name is displayed on the screen to get into the tatami, announce their kata until when they start performing their first movement or technique. Otherwise, it will amount to a foul. Then in bunkai, some athletes may end up injuring their team members due to lack of control techniques. That is, it will amount to a foul. And also in bunkai, once an athlete has been downed, the athlete has to raise up or get to their knee. They have to take only 2 seconds. More than that, it will amount to a foul. Still, in kata, apart from the fouls, we have disqualifications. Let's go to the next slide. Also, the disqualifications are 11. One of them is announcing not announcing the kata or announcing the wrong kata. As I stated earlier, the athlete has to step into the tatami, bow, announce the kata, announce the kata, then perform the kata. But if they don't announce the kata, if they start performing the kata without facing the judges, then that will amount to disqualification. Then failing, then a distinct pause or stop in performance, or adding or omitting a movement, that will amount to a disqualification. Then repetition, the obvious repetition of theatrics. An athlete stamping their feet, slapping their chest, their arms, or their karate gi, or inappropriate exhalation will lead to a disqualification. Then an athlete who has maybe fallen down when performing their kata, then they have to take a corrective step to recover from the total loss of balance, or the fall will amount to a disqualification. In the fouls, we said belts coming off to an extent that it's falling. It's not fall. It's not fall. It has not fallen, but to an extent that it's loose on the waist. That is a foul. But when the belt falls during the performance, then that athlete will be disqualified. Then exceeding the time limit of 5 minutes duration for kata and bunkai performance, that will be a disqualification. Then failing to follow the instructions of the chief judge or misconduct, that athlete will be given shikaku. Shikaku, when an athlete has been given shikaku, it means that athlete will have to be escorted out of the competition area. That athlete won't be permitted anywhere near the competition area. So that is that was the presentation for kata. Briefly, the rules for kata performance. And I don't know if any one of us has a question based on kata rules that we have talked about. Maybe um, you can just unmute and ask, or you can also use the chat box. Then we'll get back to you. So that was kata performance, and we, as I said earlier at the beginning, karate has three components: the kihon, which makes the kata and the kumite, and you've already done the kata part of it, and now we are going to kumite. So kumite, we said kumite is sparring. It's sparring competition between two athletes. The athletes have to score points through controlled techniques, which have to be delivered to scoring areas. So Um, Kata and kumite, mats or tatami, they have the same measurements. The only difference is that, we can go to the next slide. The only difference is that in kumite competition, the mats have to be inverted. Two mats almost at the center, they have to be inverted to face each other. Let's go to the next slide, please. No, yes. For the kumite competition, the mats have to be inverted, two mats at least to face each other, whereby Aka will stand on the right side of the referee, and Ao will stand on the left side of the referee. And we will have judges who will assist in giving points for these athletes. So we'll have judge number 1 up to judge number 4. And in addition to that, we will have a referee. A referee will stand centered between the two mats, facing the athletes at a distance of 2 meters from the boundary of the competition area. And the judges will have to be seated at the designated area with the red and blue flags. So, apart from the 4 judges and the referee, we will have an official table, and at the official table, we will have a software technician, and we will also have a cancer. A cancer is, we call the cancer as the match supervisor. So the rating panel for the referees is one referee, we call him or her Shushin. We have 4 judges, Fukushin, and one match supervisor, we call him or her Kansa. Then in addition, we have a score supervisor whose work will be to supervise the scores as entered by the software technician. And the score supervisor also have to record the scores. And where we have video review, or where video review is used, then we'll have a video review judge. In addition to the 1 referee, 4 judges, 1 counselor, a score supervisor, in the where video review is used, the video review judge, we also have cancer assistants. We'll also have the appeals jury. We'll also have the tatami manager. We also have the chief judge. So the panel is big for kumite competition. So at the competition, let's go back to the competition area. At the competition, Aka will have the red belt as usual, then Ao the blue belt. So there will be an official salutation whereby judge number 1 and 2 will be standing on the left side of the referee. 4 and 3 will be standing on the right side of the referee. Only the 5 of them will line up, salute with the athletes, then take up their respective positions. So Aka and Ao will be directed into the competition area. Then the referee will give an official command for them to start fighting. So in karate, we say shobu, hajime. as in begin or start fighting. And also we will have the judges. They will be given seats also to sit at least to continue. Not the judges, I'm sorry. The coaches will be given seats next to their athletes so that they can coach their athletes or they can give their athletes that support that they need. Let's go to slide number after the second one. Yes, that one. So the duration of bouts. For the duration of bouts, in fact, in a committee competition, the athletes who are eligible to fight in the seniors should be 18 years and above, but in kata they should be 16 years and above who can compete in the senior level. So the duration of bouts for the senior male and female category is 3 minutes. For those under 21, both male and female categories is 3 minutes. For the cadets and juniors, both male and female, it will be 2 minutes. And for those who are under 14 years, they will use 1.5 minutes effective time to compete. Another slide, please. So for the scoring, the points are scored by traditional karate techniques with the hand or the foot executed with control to the scoring areas. And the scoring areas are the body above the pelvis and up to including the collarbone. So the body above the pelvis, including the collarbone, that is the chudan. That is chudan. And the upper body, no, the collarbone and the area above the collarbone, we call it Jordan. And the timing of the bout starts when the referee gives the signal to start. That is called, we say, shobu hajime, and stops each time the referee calls yami. The referee can call yami when two or more judges give the electronic signal or flag signal for a score, or at the signal for full time. And a score is awarded to an athlete when two or more judges indicate a score or when the video review judge agrees on a score after the coach has raised a video request. But only the first correctly executed technique of an exchange will score, with the exception of an effective combination of techniques, in which case the highest scoring technique will count regardless of the sequence of techniques in the combination. So, for example, judge number 1 and judge number 3 have given a score for Aka, assuming they have indicated Yuko score for Aka. Then the referee will have to stop the bout, and give Aka the score. But in case three judges, that is, judge number 1 has indicated 1 point, judge number 2 has indicated 1 point, and judge number 4 has indicated 2 points for Aka, the referee will give the majority of the votes. So here it means the referee will award Aka 1 point. And in case judge number 2 has given Ao 3 points and judge number 4 has given Ao 1 point, then the highest will be considered. So Ao will be awarded 3 points for that matter. But in case all of them, assuming 3 or 4 have indicated 1 point, then that athlete will be given the 1 point. Let's go to the next slide. So we also have scoring criteria, just as in it was in kata. And in order to be considered a score, a technique must have the potential to be effective if it had not been controlled and must also fulfill the criteria. In Kumite, we have 6 scoring criteria. The referee or the judge will have to consider the 6 criteria when awarding points to the athlete. And one of the criteria is the technique must have a good form. It should be properly executed. The second criteria, the athlete must have or should have a sporting attitude, whereby the athlete can deliver a technique without the intent of causing an injury to the opponent. But in case the athlete delivers a technique and injures the opponent, then that athlete should be warned, should be given a warning or penalty. And number 3 on the list of the scoring criteria is vigorous application. That is delivery with speed and power. Number 4, when an athlete scores, that athlete should maintain awareness of the opponent. That is after or during the time of the execution. But in case an athlete makes a good score and turns away, then that point will be withdrawn. In case an athlete makes or executes a very good technique, then the athlete falls down on their own accord, not being caused by the other opponent, then that point should be withdrawn. So, an athlete has to maintain awareness of the opponent both during and after execution of the technique. Number 5 of the scoring criteria is good timing. The technique should be delivered at the correct moment. And the last one is correct distance. The delivery should be at a distance where the technique will be effective. Let's go to the other slide. So as we continue with the scoring, we have, as I stated, we have a scale for awarding points, whereby Yuko is worth 1 point, and it is awarded for straight punches, we call them Suki, or strikes, we call them Uchi, to a scoring area. The other scoring scale point or the point is Wazari. Wazari is worth 2 points and it is awarded for Chudan kicks. Then the third one is Ipon. Ipon is worth 3 points and it is awarded for Jordan kicks or any hand technique against an opponent whose any part of the body other than the feet is in contact with the mat. And in case of a score to be awarded, there is a certain criteria that the referee has to use. First, the referee has to identify the athlete. If it's Aka or Ao. Second, the referee has to identify the area that was attacked. If the athlete attacked Jordan or Chudan. Third, the referee has to identify the technique that the athlete used. Was it Atsuki? Was it Uchi? Or was it Keri? And fourth, the referee then has to award the relevant score. If the score was a Yuko, if it was a Wazari, or if it was an Ipon. And in awarding, the referee has to use the prescribed gestures. So, in order to give that score, the referee can use this procedure, assuming it's Aka who has the point, assuming it's Ipon, then the referee has to say Aka, Jordan Gary, Ipon. Then after that, the referee has to restart the bout again by saying Suzukete Hajime. So for Suzukete Hajime, the hands should be wide, then bring them together. That is Suzukete Hajime. Continue fighting. Then after that athlete, assuming the athlete has scored for the first time, the athlete has to give the points, like I said, Aka, Jordan Gary, Ipon. Ipon raise the hand above the head. Then after that, the referee has to give that athlete an added advantage. That is, we call it censure. Censure is the first unopposed point, and it is an added advantage to the athlete. So for censure, it's given us, it's like it's a gift you're taking, you're giving the other person. So you give that athlete a censure. So in case Aka and Ao are competing, then they score at the same time. The referee will have to award Aka the relevant score, award Ao the relevant score, but the referee will not give a censure to either of them. When they continue engaging, in case they score again at the same time, none of them will be given a censure. But in case an athlete scores the third time, but the other opponent was not lucky to score at the same time with his opponent, then that athlete will be given censure. And there are instances where censure can be removed, especially when there are 15 seconds left of the bout time. We call it Atoshibaraku. So, in case an athlete has done certain committed certain offenses, then that censure will be withdrawn, such as stepping out of the Okay, sorry for that. So, in case an athlete steps out of the tatami area when it's less than 15 seconds of the bout time, then that athlete will be given a warning and the censure will be withdrawn from the athlete. And once a censure has been withdrawn, no further censures can be given to either of the athletes. Let's go to the next slide. So, in karate, we have penalties, and these penalties they are prohibited behavior. In the past years, we used to have category 1 warnings and category 2 warnings, but now they are in the same category of warnings. There's no category 1, there's no category 2. Both of them are now together. So, one of the warnings that, just a minute. So, one of the warnings that, or one of the prohibited behaviors is attacking the other athlete with the arms, with the knees, or instep. That is prohibited. Once an athlete has done that, then that athlete has to be given a warning or a penalty. Then another one is techniques that makes excessive contact. Remember, this is a sport, so the techniques have to be executed with control. But once a technique makes excessive contact, then especially to the throat, then that athlete has to be penalized. Then attacking the face with open hands technique is prohibited. The athletes must not should execute a technique with closed hands or closed hands. Then a technique executed after wakarete. In karate, wakarete means separate, and wakarete mostly is used when the athletes are chest to chest, there is clenching. So at that moment, the referee will have to give a command for wakarete. For wakarete, the referee will have to tell them separate. Then after separating, they're in a good distance, the referee will give them a command to Suzukete, continue fighting. But in case a referee gives that command for Wakarete and an athlete maybe pushes the opponent, the athlete tries to make a, a score, then that referee will have to stop the bout, give that referee, athlete a warning for goading. So, so in case that wakarete is given, then the athlete has to respect that. So, techniques which are executed after wakarete and before Suzukete has been called, that will result to a penalty. Then dangerous and forbidden throwing techniques. Some athletes they feign or they exaggerate injuries, and for that they have to be penalized. Exiting the competition area not caused by the opponent or following a score, that is jogai, will be will also be penalized. And for jogai, if like this point 7, if an athlete has exited the competition area on their own accord, they will be given a warning. And if an athlete exits the competition area, but that was caused by the opponent, then they won't be given a warning. And in case an athlete makes a good technique and later exits the competition area, then only the point will be given. In case an athlete Aka scores Ao while Ao is outside the competition area, Aka will be given the score, Ao will not be given the score. But in case Aka executes a technique to Ao who is outside the competition area, as Aka tries to execute the technique but later does not make a good technique or doesn't manage to make that technique, then Ao will be given jogai. Then we have self-endangerment. We call it Mbobi. You might find the athletes, they expose themselves to injury, or some they fail to use the protective equipment as required by WKF. There is passivity, whereby the athletes don't attempt to engage in combat. So passivity will only be given after 15 seconds of the bout, when the bout starts. It cannot be given before the 15 seconds. Also, passivity cannot be given when there is less than 15 seconds of the bout time. So, in case after 15 seconds, after the start of the bout, the athletes don't engage, then first the referee has to give the command for Suzukete. And if they don't engage in combat, the referee will have to stop the bout and give a warning for passivity. Then clenching, wrestling, pushing, or standing chest to chest without attempting a scoring technique or takedown, that will amount to a penalty. Then in case an athlete grabs the opponent with both hands for any reason other than executing a takedown, upon catching the opponent's kick, that will be penalized. After catching the kick or catching the leg or grabbing the opponent, then that athlete is supposed to perform a technique immediately. Other than that, it will result to a penalty. Then grabbing the opponent's arms or karategi with one hand without immediately attempting. So after grabbing the opponent with both hands or one hand, then that athlete should perform an immediate technique. Other than that, it will result to a penalty. Then techniques which by their nature cannot be controlled for the safety of the opponent and are dangerous or uncontrolled techniques, those should be penalized. Mostly for those uncontrolled techniques, we have different signs for like this. It's uncontrolled technique. Also, another penalty is simulated or actual attack with the head, knees, or elbows. In karate, we don't attack with the head, the elbows, or the knees. In case of that, it will result to a penalty. Then kicking techniques against a downed opponent who is lying flat on the floor is prohibited. Then talking or goading the opponents or failing to obey the orders of the referee, that will amount to a penalty. Let's go to the next slide. So in karate, we have different warnings and different penalties. And they are in three categories. And one of them is they are informal warnings. And informal warnings are Suzukete, uh, which are commanded to the athletes for them to continue fighting or continue the activity. And wakarete is used for breaking up a clinch. So those are informal warnings. So for Suzukete, you just tell them Suzukete. That is a informal warning. Wakarete, you tell them to separate. Then we go to the second level of warnings. That is, we have the official warnings. And for those official warnings, we have two official warnings. I can say two, but somehow there are four because one of them is Chui, whereby Chui is given up to 3. And we also have Hansoku. So for Chui, it is indicated as Chui. That is the first Chui. In case and Chui is given up to 3 times for smaller infractions that do not um, diminish the other athlete's chance of winning. So the first time an athlete has committed a prohibited behavior, then the referee will have to give Chui. The second instance, the referee will give Chui. And the third instance, the referee will have to give Chui. The third Chui. So, after the 3 chewies have been given, then the referee will have to move to Hansoku Chui. And Hansoku Chui is given for more serious infractions that reduce the other athletes' chances of winning, or for any further disqualification in the infraction of the 3 chewies has already been given. So for Hansoku Chui, the referee will have to point the athlete's uh, belt while giving the warning. So the referee will say Aka, then show the type of infraction. If it's hard contact, for hard contact, we show as this is the signal. So Aka, then show the type of infraction, then point to the belt or on the belt of that athlete who is supposed to be given that warning. Then the third group is we have the penalties. For penalties, we have only 2 penalties. That is Hansoku and Shikaku. And Hansoku is a penalty for disqualification, following a very serious disqualification from infraction, or when Hansokutui has already been given. So, when giving Hansoku, the referee will have to point the athletes straight to the eye, aka show the type of infraction, or there are so many types of infraction, but they have to show, then point Hansoku. And after giving an athlete Hansoku, the referee has to declare the other athlete as the winner. Once an athlete has been given Hansoku, then the game is over at that point. Then the last penalty is Shikaku. Shikaku is a disqualification from the tournament. For athletes to be given that Shikaku, the referee will point straight to the point of that athlete, then will show or will guide the athlete to move out of the competition area. Once the athlete has been given Shikaku, that athlete won't be permitted to compete in any other competition that during that time unless otherwise. So that is all with the warnings and penalties. So we can go to the next slide. So in karate, we have to observe the ceremony of salutation. At the beginning, there's a ceremony of salutation. We start with shomeni, that is in front where the guests are, shomeni, rei, then otagaini, rei. After the competition, or after the bout, then the referee will start with Otagaini, Rei, then Shomeni, Rei. Both the athletes and the referee will have to honor the ceremony of salutation. And after that, the athletes won't be permitted to have or to do excess celebration. Excess celebration such as falling on one knee, these political or religious expressions during or immediately after performance is prohibited. And once an athlete does that, then that athlete will have to be subjected to a fine equal to the amount determined by the executive committee for protest fee. So in karate, we have the appeals jury. In case of any protest, then the coach will have to pick the protest form from the tatami manager, fill the protest form, deposit the required or the stipulated amount with the tatami manager, and the tatami manager will take the protest form together with the fine to the appeals jury. And the appeals jury, they are from number 1 to number 3, then number 4 to number 6. So these 3 appeals jury will have to sit down and make a verdict for the protest. In case the protest was valid, then the coach will be given back the protest fee. And in case the protest was invalid or the protest was declined, then the fee won't be given back to the coach. So, for the appeals jury, every one of them has to give their verdict on the matter at hand. Then the good thing with karate is that the judges are allowed to self-report in case of conflict of interest. Assuming I am I am a referee or judge from Serials Board of Kenya, and an athlete from Serials is competing. So I'll have to tell the tatami manager that my athlete is in the tatami. So I won't be able um, to officiate that bout or that match. So I'll have to step aside. So self-reporting is allowed to avoid every kind of conflict of interest. So also in karate, in kumite, apart from the four judges sitting at the designated areas, mostly we see them at the corners. We also have this competition format for the children, whereby it can be officiated by only two judges and one referee. So for the two judges and one referee, the work of the judges is to indicate the points and also the warnings. They will assist the referee in identifying the warnings, and the referee will remain autonomous in giving the warnings. So, next slide. So, for the next slide, we can see the sitting position of the judges. The judge will have to sit, but uh, they are not allowed to lean on the backrest of the seat. There should be a space between the back of the seat and the judge so that they can be upright and awake. So the position of the flags should be an extension of the judge's knees. So for Yuko, as we can see the second picture, that is the position of the flags for Yuko. Yeah, that is the position of Yuko for the flags. The judges indicates that way. And for the referee, the standing referee, Yuko, that referee has to point down from here down. That is Yuko. And for Wazari, this is the correct gesture for Wazari for a judge who is seated. But for a referee, the referee that Wazari will have to come from here, like from the west, then the shoulder level, that is Wazari. And for Ipon, from down here coming upwards, above the head. As we can see, this is the position. The fourth picture is the position for Ipon, for a judge. So as you can see in the next slide, so these are the hand signals. The signal for Yuko, it has to come from above the shoulder downwards. That is Yuko. For Wazari, it has to come from either from the belly or from the waist to shoulder level, and for Ipon from the waist going upwards. So for Senshu, you have to give to on the side of the competitor or the athlete that you are giving the that added advantage. Next slide. Oh, So that's all for karate, officiating, karate rules. And thank you so much for your time. Thanks for lending me a listening ear. If we are together, you can just type something on the wall, or you can send an emoji, or if you need any clarification on anything, please, you can unmute, then we can share together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, JB, for such a wonderful and very informative presentation. Believe the listeners have enjoyed your presentation. And as you said, if they need any clarification or any information that they would want clarified, that the floor is open. Anyone with any clarification or any question?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, my name is Abdi. I really want to thank you so much for the webinar from Sportswave Africa. I believe this is my first time to join such amazing webinar. And my question really goes back to Madam about scoring techniques. She shared about scoring criteria, and I want to ask on about if we fight with my opponent, and I scored a clean shootout point, but the opponent is injured and has difficulty maybe in breathing while you are.
Sorry, I'm losing you.
Sorry? Oh, you're getting me now? Are you getting me?
Hello?
Are you getting me now? Are you getting me now? Are you getting me? Hello?
Abdi, we can
lost.
hear you.
Now you can hear me.
Yeah.
Okay. My question is about the scoring technique or scoring criteria.
Kindly check the internet connection because we are losing you again.
Now you're getting me? Now you're getting me? Now you're getting me? Now you're getting me?
Abdi?
Abdi, on my side, I can hear you, but I
Okay,
think
as
JB can't get.
on this internet connection, is any other person
Can you
or
text Abdi?
needs a clarification on something?
Abdi, can you text?
Okay.
So any other person who needs clarification?
Abdi is texting her his question, but he was saying that he scored. I didn't get the name of the point he scored, but the opponent was injured. So it seems like he was deducted the points when the referees realized that the opponent was injured. But I believe he's typing so that you can get the correct question. Yeah, he's texted, so you can just read.
So it reads, what is the scoring criteria in karate if a competitor scores a clean shootout point, but the opponent is injured? and has difficulty breathing as a result of the technique. So in case you've made children points and the opponent is injured, so it depends if that opponent has fallen down due to assuming the hard technique, then the referee will have to do a count. Will have to perform the 10-second rule. The 10-second rule is the athlete is down on the floor. The referee will have to raise their hands, then start counting in English up to 10. 1, 2, observing the athlete. And before doing that, once that athlete is injured, the referee has to give a command for Yame. Then after stopping the match, the referee will have to call the doctor. We always have doctors available. So you have to call the doctor and start the 10-second rule, counting up to 10. In case the athlete stands up before 10, then the referee will the referee will guide the athlete to the doctor for treatment. In case the athlete won't be able to get up within the 10 seconds, then we'll have to cancel and the athlete will have to be carried and taken to the doctor for further treatment. So here it will depend. So if the athlete cannot continue at all because of that injury or has developed injuries, then the referee will have to go back inside the tatami, call Fukushin Shugo. They discuss depending on the circumstances that caused the athlete or the opponent to be the way or to be in that situation that they are in. Maybe your opponent had a condition that maybe your technique just wasn't so. Yeah, the opponent might be given, in case that opponent had a condition and the tournament doctor had already examined the athlete, and also you as a referee, you are aware of that, then that your opponent will be given kicking and you will be given catch. But if that opponent didn't have a condition and this your technique has caused injury and he has difficulty in breathing, then the opponent will be given 3 minutes for treatment. Then another time might be added by the referee, 3 minutes. If it's not possible, then the referee will have to ask the doctor if your opponent will be able to continue or if he cannot continue. So if the referee says no, if the doctor says the athlete cannot continue, then he won't continue. So that's it. So for all techniques should be controlled, be it on the stomach, at the back, or at the head. The techniques should be controlled. Abdi, I don't, maybe, I guess, are you satisfied with the answer? Because that's mostly how we do. Then there's so since Ewanga has said all techniques must be controlled, the doctor will assess the injury if it was caused by the opponents or existed before, and guide to. I think that's what I've said. Thank you, Wanga. And Purity has said, you talked about players from under 21 and under 14. Does it mean that above 21 ones not allowed to compete? No, that's not true, because in karate we have different categories. We have under 14 category, that is 12 and 13 years, they have to compete. Then we have the cadets. Cadets are 14 and 15 years, they will compete. Then we have the juniors. Juniors are 16, 17 years. They are permitted to compete. Then we have the under 21. Under 21, we have 18 years, 19 years, and 20 years. They're also allowed to compete. Then, apart from that, you see, these under 21, they can compete in the under 21 category, or they can also compete in the senior category. The senior category starts from 18 years and above. So the under 21, the under 14, they are allowed to compete. To you, Purity. Then, Abdi, if I have scored a clean point on my opponent, but the referee does not award the point because they did not see the technique, what is the correct procedure according to karate rules? So, if you have scored a clean point, and in that competition, video review is allowed, then you, as an athlete, is allowed to ask your coach for a video review. You can have a signal. Maybe you can tell him this way or this way, whichever signal that you can use that you and your coach can understand. Then you ask your coach to ask for a video review. Once the coach has seen that, the coach will have to press, they have the gadgets to press asking for a video review, be it for Yuko, for Wazari, or for Ipon. Or here we don't have those gadgets, so we use cards. So the coach will have to stand up, then lift the card. For Yuko, it has 1 point or 2 points, whichever, but not for Yuko. We'll have to stand up and raise the card. That card is red. So after standing up, then the coach supervisor will have to stand, pick the card, then lift the card up for the referee to see. That's when the referee will have to stop the match, then ask for a video review. So in case the video review judge goes through or reviews the video and sees these clean points, then that review judge will have to lift a card indicating 1. It means there is a point. Then you'll be given that point. And if maybe that point was not clearly seen, then the video review judge will have to show this way, meaning it wasn't visible. And if the point was not there, then the video review judge will have to lift a card that has been written no. So then you won't be awarded the points, and that coach will lose that card. So for the referees to award points, the referee has to be guided by the judges. The judge, if 2 or more judges indicate a score for an athlete, then the referee will have to stop the match, stop the bout, and give the points, award the points. Even if you as a referee has seen a clean point, but the judges have not indicated, then you won't do anything. Unless there's a video review and you request your coach to ask for a video review, that's when it will be reviewed and you'll be awarded the points as seen on the video. So, any other question?
Samsung's hand was up. I don't know whether she's been answered. Somebody's hand was
Yes,
up.
Samsung, please go ahead. Unmute.
Yeah.
I know Madam Johnson has done a very good job just to be able to explain the rules and regulations that comes with karate. I know at one point you come to a karate championship and you find that the rules are not strictly followed as they are presented today. And maybe just to add on that, WKF, that is the World Karate Federation, allows for rules modifications. The national federations can be able to modify the rules. However, very important to note is that there are elements that can never be interfered with as we modify the rules. So the issues to do with safety of the athletes, very, very important. The issues to do with use of protective equipment, very, very important. Issues surrounding scoring, prohibited behavior, warnings and penalties, and then injuries and accidents in a competition, including the criteria for making decisions. Those ones stand untouched, and even as we modify the rules, those ones are very, very key and can never be interfered with. So you may not find everything that we've talked about here in especially in our local championships, the ones that are outside the WKF official program, but because the rules modifications are allowed. Thank you. Probably the other question can be asked.
Okay. Thank you so much for that clarification. So I don't know who was the person asking. You can go ahead. Mark, had you finished asking? Had you completed asking your question? Before
Yes,
JB
I did.
dropped. You did, huh?
Sorry.
But,
Yeah, I
but
did.
you see, JB dropped off. So can you repeat so that Mark can so that Wanga can assist?
Thank you. I had Sensei JB talk about now if the referee cannot award and stop about not really stop, but cannot award a point unless judges raise that point. In a three-judge system, unless this does not apply to WKF, there is a situation where the chief ref the center referee can stop about after having seen a score and request for that score from judges. I felt that was contradicting JB's comment that unless the judges raise a point is when that point will be awarded. Can I get some clarification on that?
Yes, I can take that.
Yes, go ahead.
All right, thank you. There are a number of situations when it comes to officiating karate, and also in terms of different competitions. There is the other normal karate championship with the 4 judges. Then we have 4 judges and a center referee. Then we have another situation which mostly happens in the youth league, where we have the 2-judge system, where we have 2 judges and a center referee. So let's come back to the 4 judges and the center referee. So at what point does a referee give a point? When the judges, 2 or more judges signal for a point, the referee will yame or stop the bout and then award the point. Of course, unless if probably something else happened, maybe the athlete got injured and the doctor has checked, and then the referee comes and shows a warning, then the judges will withdraw their points and a warning will be awarded. But it's a normal situation of a good score. A referee will award a point which is signaled by 2 or more judges. What if there's a point, but the judges never signaled because probably they never saw? In a situation where we have a video review, then the coach is allowed to signal for the point they want, either a 1 point, which is a Yuko, 2 point Wazari, or 3 points Ipon. Then the referee will yame and show that we want to have a video review. After a video review, and it's found, or the video review judge signals that yes, surely there was a point, either 1 or 2 or 3, the center referee will come and award that point. If not, he will just cancel and the bout will continue. There are situations whereby there is no video review, still in the 4-judge system. Yeah? There's no video review, but there's a good score, which the judges never saw and never signaled. In this situation, the referee cannot award that particular point because the judges never signaled it, and there's no video review to be able to alter that kind of decision. So let's come back to the 2-judge system. For the 2-judge system, we are having 2 judges and a center referee. All have equal decisions. If one judge awards a point to a particular athlete, and the center referee agrees that that's actually a point, the center referee will stop the bout and award that point. If none of the judges signals for any point, but the referee feels that surely this one is a good score, it meets all the 6 criteria, the referee will stop the bout and signal the judges that whichever point it is, either 1 point, 2 point, or 3 point, using the signals that are there for the 2-judge system. And if either of the judges supports the center referee, then the center referee will award that point. If none of them supports the center referee, he will not award that point, will just continue with the bout. So those are the different scenarios where that's why we're talking about the 2-judge system, and also the other normal one, where we have the 4 judges and the center referee. I hope that answers you.
Well, thank you. That has taken care of that question.
Thank you.
Samsung, the guy with the Samsung who wanted to ask something. Any further need for clarification? Probably JB's gadget ran out of power and she's unable to rejoin us. Otherwise, again, let me take this opportunity to thank her in absentia, and again thank Wanga and the rest of the participants who have stayed with us since 7 o'clock to listen to this call. We appreciate your time, and we acknowledge your presence and hope to see you again. We've shared in the chat box, in case you did not receive a direct message, you can text your telephone number so that we can include in our group. And we encourage people to use this platform. Anyone who has information, Sensei Wanga, if you feel you also want to share with the group, the karate group, you can always just text us, drop us a message. We can schedule this. This is a platform for coaches, referees, and even athletes. It's an educational platform for coaches, technical officials, and anything that can help in terms of growing our sport. Otherwise, if there is no any burning question or any burning concern, I would wish to bring this to an end. Betty, do you want to say something? Betty, you are on mute. You are on mute, Betty. Eugene, go ahead. Eugene, your hand is up. You can go ahead as we wait for Betty to. Eugene Injehu, do you want to say something? Your hand is up.
Yes, now I can say.
Yeah, kindly go ahead.
Yes, good evening, everybody. So then I'm happy to be here now. So I am doing Wadoryu Karate. So then, but I have no connection in Kenya for Wadoryu Karate. I started to train. I opened a dojo here on Gatarongai around Nairobi, but we doesn't even attend any games because we was not know anybody who we can communicate so that we can know what is going on. By the way, and in that ways, I got someone through Facebook. So then I contacted to him. Then he made me join this WhatsApp group. So then I can now start to know what is going on about Kenya Federation Karate. So, can what do you attend the games as like other style doing of karate in Kenya? So maybe you will tell me the qualification or what I can do so that me and my... Thank you.
Oh, sorry, back. So, for karate, we accept different styles like Shotokan, Juru, Wadoru, Itoru. So, for you to be a member, then you have to affiliate with Kenya Karate Federation. And for that, maybe you can take my contact, then we can talk after this so that I'll link you with our Secretary General. Then he give you a proper guideline of how to affiliate with the federation so that you can be attending the tournaments, the championships, the shuku, and any other thing that is organized by the federation.
Okay, that is wonderful. Thank
My
you so
number
much.
is on the chat, so you can get it there, then you can talk.
So then I can see from there, then I will contact from you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other concerns? Somebody's hand was up. There was another hand up. All right. JB, sorry for that. We missed you.
Sorry, my internet connection was bad.
Yeah. So good, you're back. Now, can you say something before we bring this to a close, if there's no any more concern?
So, first of all, I want to thank Sportswave Africa Foundation for this opportunity, for this platform. At least we are able to learn how different sports to conduct and officiate their championships. For that, I give Sportswave African Foundation a big up. Thank you for everyone who was able to join this platform today's session, and I believe we are going to do more in other sessions. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So that's nice. Sorry, I was interrupted a little bit, but we're also very grateful for your time and the insightful presentation that you've given this evening. And we look forward to having more such. In case you need to do another one, just let us know. We will always arrange. We'll always make arrangements for the call. Otherwise, thank you so much, and I wish you all a good evening, and hope to see you next time. Good night, all.
Good night and thank you.
Good night. Good night.
Good night. See you.